with Inspire Me 360, and I'm going to do the last couple parts of the 4 agreements. So again, amazing book if you guys are looking for some insights into kind of how to find inner peace and really assemble your conscious thought into a sense that you're grounded and you can really not be affected by the waves of energy that the world throws at you. So, the next kind of part of the 4 agreements is the principle of always doing your best. Now, this seems pretty intuitive, right? Of course, we should always try to do our best, and we've probably heard that from a very young age. But this is kind of taking that principle to the next level. So when we're doing our best in each and every moment, it means literally just that. So, if you're walking through your workplace and there's some garbage on the floor, if you could take the time to sweep something up and make it look a little bit better, or you walk by an area at home and it looks messy or cluttered, positioning it symmetrically. Again, that something like putting everything symmetrically correct in your home or organizing, that's a principle of feng shui. It's directing the energy. And of course, nature always wants a certain semblance of things. Everything is orderly to a great degree. Everything is very symmetrical. The way that nature creates is in these fractal symmetrical patterns. So this is kind of part of always doing your best, is always looking around in every moment and seeing how you can improve the world directly around you. So it's how you're showing up in each and every moment. Even this morning, I have a bit of a sore throat. I'm not really feeling 100% myself, but I'm gonna still get ready. I'm going to bring my best to that day or to the day. I'm working from home in the morning, but that doesn't mean that I don't get presentable, because again, I'm always going to try to show up for each and every moment being the absolute best that I can extract from myself. And the reason I do this is there might be a conference call, there might be something that I have to deal with the government, and maybe it's a Zoom call or whatever it is. I never want to appear, or I never want to bring the energy of disorganization or lack of caring to any moment. And when you do this, when you show up this way for the universe, I find that the universe will match that frequency. So you're doing your best, so it's going to bring the best of itself to you. It's that magnetism. So because you are showing up in this way, you draw very intense, exciting, and equally symmetrical experiences into your world. And again, that's energy transfer. That's the law of magnetism. You're magnetizing yourself by doing your very best in each and every moment. And so how else can we look at the functionality of doing your absolute best? Okay, so again, Dolly Parton, one of my very, very favorite women, heart of gold, always is authentically herself, but her best self. She's never apologetic for who and what she is. She shines from and emanates just an authenticity that people, it registers with them, okay? So there is that element of being yourself. When you're being authentic and true to who you are, you're being your best version of you. Anytime you try to really stuff yourself into a box or an ideology that somebody else wants you to be, whether that's a grandparent or a family member, mom or dad or a spouse, friendship groups, when you're trying to force yourself to be something you're not, you're really not doing your absolute best. You're not bringing the authentic vibration of who you are to each and every moment. Another element of always doing your best would be to be honest. So really not trying to overinflate who and what you are. I know a lot of people will, I don't know if you want to call it front, but they'll try to act like they have achieved more than they have, or maybe they have more resources than they do. You see this quite a lot in modern society, where people want to act like they have a lifestyle or they've achieved a certain, level or plateau in terms of their career, when really it's not authentic. It's just them trying to sort of put up this false bravado. And that again is not doing your best, because when you're not being real about who and what you are, you're essentially being dishonest. And this sense of dishonesty will only, the way that the universe deals with that is it will just bring a lot of sort of dishonest people who are misrepresenting themselves into your life, and that will be mirrored back to you. And in terms of your own success and where you want to go and what you want to achieve in this lifetime, you really don't want to align yourself with a bunch of individuals that really don't have much going on, and it's all very surface level. So again, really being honest and authentic. There could be another layer to that of, just not telling the truth. There's people that will, due to insecurities and due to maybe a certain amount of self-esteem, lack of self-esteem, they'll be dishonest. And essentially when an individual is doing this, it's because they want attention, and they feel like a made-up version of themselves would be better than the real version of themselves. But it creates, again, a lot of issues because it's not the real energy of who they are. So you really want to pay attention to, if you're, wanting to do your best, is being honest in each and every action you take, in your words, all of these different things. Now, how else can we show up as our best? Well, not being lazy. So again, if you have a tendency to not like to do tasks, or to procrastinate, or leave your room messy, not do your laundry, not do the dishes, not, organize your fridge, these kind of things. I know they seem like mundane tasks, but it is showing the universe and the universal energies that you really are up to the task. So again, when we're doing our very best, we want to show up that way in each and every moment. Myself, I try to clean my house twice a day. I'm always really, paying attention to detail. And again, there's purpose in it. It's not that I just want, to clean my house. It's that I can layer my tasks. So instead of going to the gym, I can clean my house and get the same kind of exercise, plus have the appreciation of a really beautiful environment. And then I want to keep it clean. It's that diligence to the previous action that I've taken. Okay, so another level of doing your best is always being kind to others, because again, the energy that we bring forth from ourselves is that actionable vibration that we're sending out into the quantum field. So the way that we treat others is part of doing our best. And this means not being manipulative, so not creating drama or dramatic energy in situations just because we want the attention on us, or just because perhaps we might be jealous of others, those kind of things. Always taking the time to lift others up. There's a lot of times, especially in our busy, chaotic lives, where we don't maybe always have the time to stop and say, give that drive-through person a compliment, or go out of your way to give a smile, or slow down and hold a door. But is that really showing up in terms of the world at large in your best version of you? So I tend to feel that doing your best is, again, giving kindness to each and every person you encounter. Now, there's times where you'll have to pull your energy back, because again, you're just not, you just don't have enough in you to just give and give and give and give. And you have to be able to that out for yourself, where your energy is along the spectrum of what you can bring forth. But again, this principle of lifting others up. Another element is in the mechanism of doing your best is the law of giving. So again, as you have these resources, as you are accumulating wealth, knowledge, skill sets, giving that to the world at large is part of this equation of always doing your best. Because when you're helping others and you're teaching others and helping them to grow, that is an element of paying it forward, and that ripple effect of really sending that positive energy of doing your best in each and every moment out into that field. So how else can we show up and be our best? So in terms of conflict, so it's easy to say that we want to be our best when everything is going amazing, okay? That's easy, right? But how do we show up and do the best that we can possibly do when we are faced with conflict, difficult decisions, difficult obstacles? So part of this principle of doing our best is, first of all, remaining calm. So you really have to take time to cultivate an attitude of inner peace so that when you do end up in a circumstance where you are, up against an obstacle, that you can handle it with grace and with a certain amount of strength, but kindness and humility at the same time. And this takes practice. So as you practice these, ways of being, you get better and better and better at them. And I know, if I look at myself 10, even 20 years ago, when there was something in my environment that was highly stressful, I tended to be more hysterical. I tended to, really let that energy of the negativity pull me down and spiral out of control. And as I've gotten better and pushed myself into this attitude of always doing my best, I've really created this infrastructure of this foundation of a skill set that allows me to be really graceful under pressure. And this is an element of course, doing your best and showing up as your best in each and every moment. Now, again, your best is going to change depending on where you're feeling, if your body is healthy, not so healthy, those kind of things. And I myself have gone through several periods of time in my life where I was in, very acute health crises. And in those moments, doing my best was very minute to minute. Sometimes really all I could do was, have a few hours of TV, eat a good meal, be very proud of myself that I even got up that day and had a conversation with another individual. And when you're in this kind of environment where you are literally in survival mode, when your body is struggling just to hang on, this is another principle of doing your best, okay? So understanding that you are doing your best in that particular moment because that is all you can give. And again, doing your best is giving yourself that permission to say, today this is my best, and I love myself for showing up in the best version that I can create in this day, okay? And whether that's somebody that's dealing with mental health issues, with chronic health issues, with some sort of massive trauma or stressful event, the loss of a loved one, pressure and stress from work. I mean, it can be multiple layers of this, some sort of financial stress, addictions, whatever it is. You have to be able to realize through logic and also a kindness to self that your best is a pendulum and it's going to change from day to day, and never beat yourself up. You always know if you're showing up in each and every moment as your best, okay? So you're going to be the individual that decides this, and you're going to be the individual that, only you can judge yourself, but you have to be that compass within your own auric field that really knows whether you are showing up in the best version of yourself in each and every moment of your day. Contrast in what would not be showing up as the best version of yourself. So this is what I call cutting corners. So we all know that we're capable of cutting corners, and to some degree the human consciousness or human nature is to try to find the easiest path to the other side of the river. But the easiest path and the shortest path isn't always the path that is, again, doing your best and of the highest order, of the most integrity. And cutting corners, so doing things that you know intrinsically aren't correct, not following the rules, things like, not paying your taxes properly, or, fucking around at work. I don't know how else to put that. So, not doing what the expectation is of you, and, really not being authentic in what you've promised others, okay? That is a big part of cutting corners, because again, if you're being dishonest with others, or you're being dishonest in any way, or not being fully immersed in the tasks or the agreements that you've promised others, because whether it be a job or a relationship, whatever it is, that is an agreement you've made with either a corporation or a person or whatever have you, that you're going to show up in a certain way. And when you don't show up in a certain way, or you cut corners, or perhaps you utilize the resources of that other person in an imbalanced way, that is just going to be mirrored back to you. And so that's why, again, cutting corners is so important, so important. And some of the ways that human beings cut corners, again, would be things like addictions. So instead of dealing with their emotions and stress or chaos or obstacles that are in their path, that is part of their learning journey, a lot of times people will kind of bypass those things by different addictions: smoking, drinking, drugs, gambling, sex addictions, relationship addictions, workaholic kind of tendencies, over shopping, all of these different things, rather than dealing with what they're meant to learn or what they're meant to grow from. Okay. Another way that you can cut corners would be, again, financially. So taking from others. There's lots of different examples of how this can play out. So in certain ways, women can cut corners by not getting out into the workforce, being a little bit lazy, relying on, say, their male partners to take care of all of the financial concerns, or perhaps in a divorce situation or a separation, a woman takes quite, a large financial gain from a gentleman's hard work or their previous spouse's hard work. But that's cutting a corner. That's taking something that you haven't actually earned. And again, that's going to be mirrored back to you, because when you take anything in an imbalanced way, you're only calling into action a vibrational match to that, and it's going to be mirrored back. So again, anytime we are cutting corners, so things like not earning your position in life, that's another way of cutting a corner. So I hear a lot of individuals saying, that they want a lot of wealth, that they want a certain lifestyle, but they haven't actually done the work to achieve it. And so it's not something that the universe is just going to hand out to you. You have to work hard consistently. I know myself, I've actually kind of worked since I was about 7 years old. When I was 7, my grandma had a restaurant, and I would help clear tables and wipe down tables. And we had a fruit business in the family. So from very young age, I would help pick out the rotten fruit from the boxes, or help organize the fruit, fruit stands within my uncle's business. So lots of work, crushing the boxes, whatever it was. So I've always worked really, really hard, and I loved that work. It gave me purpose. It made me feel very grounded and very proud of myself for learning all of these different skills. So again, the universe is only going to give you, equitably what you've put out into it in terms of your efforts. So this fast lifestyle where people are anticipating money coming, particular reason other than they want to manifest, an extremely relaxing lifestyle. I mean, that's not planet Earth. Even when you look at extremely wealthy children, so, the offspring of parents that are extremely wealthy, what you normally see as an outcome of that kind of a situation is that the children don't have any foundational skills. So they end up partying, they end up a lot of times doing drugs because they don't know who they are and they haven't had that infrastructure in terms of those skill sets that really lay the foundation for doing their best and having a really substantial character that is built into their being. And that's again why it's not, we may desire to live in the lap of luxury. We may desire to have a very easy lifestyle, but is that really doing our best? And what tends to happen is you can only kind of play around and have fun and relax for so long. And beyond that, you need to have some sort of a purpose to your existence, and you need to be creating some sort of betterment and value to the rest of society with who and what you are. And that's why these laws exist and why things are mirrored back to us, so that as an individual entity and an individual energy, we can understand deeply to our core what this equilibrium and balance point needs to be for us to be at our highest expression of self, or our highest vibrational output, based on doing our best in any given moment. So again, I'm going to kind of round this video out, but in terms of the 4 agreements, this is the best way that I can summarize doing your best, being your best, and how that will really affect what is mirrored back to you. Because again, everything is about what we input into the quantum field is going to be the output that we experience back to us in terms of that magnetism or that mirroring. So best of luck with manifesting your most incredible life, and hopefully you found some insight into this element of the 4 agreements.